Retail and hospitality is changing, with often complex and fragmented systems combined with large volumes of customer data for businesses to make sense of. It's critical to work with the right partners in order to guarantee success. At Tratec Consulting, we help retail and hospitality businesses transform their technology, removing overly bloated processes and creating unified and efficient systems of working throughout. So don't just take our word for it. See for yourself. Tratec Consulting, the leaders in technology transformation across retail and hospitality.
Hello, good evening, and welcome to the All Things Borough podcast, the official podcast for Farnborough Football Club, and sponsored by Tratec Consulting. Tratec takes your business visions and turns them into innovative reality. Good evening, everybody watching us on YouTube. I'm Alan as normal, and I'm joined by Simon as per usual. Simon, how are you doing?
Yeah,
You've had a few days off. You've had a few days off with an injury.
Enforced. Yeah, injury is going to be a sort of a good subplot to our episode this evening. Yeah, mine's not life threatening like someone else's, but a bit of an Achilles issue. I did it swimming, would you believe? So yeah. So there we go.
You don't swim, Simon. You sink.
No,
you sink. You don't swim.
I used to sink, but then I put 5 stone on, and now I can float. So it's all good. All I've got to do is keep the air in my lungs. I'll be fine. I'll be all day. Yeah, no, I was going up and down the stairs at the flumes. I think I must have taken a misstep, and I've it all swelled up. And but I had a couple of days off. Back to work though. Back to work now. So I did oversleep this morning, though, so I was a bit late.
You're so lazy. You're so lazy.
Stuck in the back door, though. No one noticed. If my boss is listening, no, that's not true. I was on time. Anyway, move on.
Yeah, well, I don't think your boss will be listening, will he?
Probably not. No, he's more of a rugby man. Yeah, he's probably like Jack Turner.
Yeah. Oh, anyway, I've been, as you know, Simon, I'm talking before we came on. I've been fixing a downstairs toilet here at home, so
I've had it on good authority.
Funny smells on my hands.
Yeah, you washed your hands before the episode started. I have it on good authority though. You say your fixing was, you made it worse apparently, and you've got to get a proper guy in to do the job tomorrow. So happy days.
No, can't afford a proper guy.
I do know someone who's got a bit of a loose end at the moment. They might be able to help you down. He might be a bit of a trek for him coming up from Southwood, but he does charge by the hour though, apparently. So for his services, that's just plumbing by the way, nothing else.
Unfortunately, I don't think we can. I haven't got a seat for him to fit in the toilet downstairs. It's a bit too small.
Disgraceful. Yeah, we should introduce him. Really, he's been waiting.
Yeah, we should do. Yeah. Here we go. So we, as you can see, everybody watching us on YouTube, we have got Aaron Kuhl here with us tonight. Good evening, Aaron. How are you doing?
Good evening. I'm good, thank you. How are you both?
Yes, we are doing well. Simon is doing not as well because of, as forementioned, the injury to his Achilles, when actually it's gout.
Serious injury that. Yeah, it is definitely.
Yeah, he's had it for years. He refuses to admit it though, Aaron, but he does suffer with it.
It's when you get a certain age, I think, isn't it? And you seem to get gout. I don't know if that's.
It's actually to do with proper athletes. You know what I mean? We're on a. It's like an elastic band. You know what I mean? And that sometimes that elastic band just snaps and you're done. Yeah, as you know well. But it's like that.
Also, Simon, that elastic band that you athletes suffer with has wrapped itself around quite a few times around your midriff as well, which I think is obviously part of the reason why you're suffering with your Achilles.
No, that is my dietitian's suggestion, to try and keep it in, just to wrap an elastic band around, try and keep it in. But I'm doing my best. Yeah.
Anyway, look, before we crack on, Aaron, we should say as well, just before we start with you, news broke out today. So today, what is it? Thursday today. So news broke out yesterday, Wednesday, early hours of Wednesday morning. There was a break-in at the club, and they broke into what seemed like everywhere around the ground and the kebab van outside, made off with loads of stuff, including all 4 wheels and tyres off the minivan. anyone that's got any information, obviously contact Hampshire Police 101 or whatever the number is, and relay any information you have. But Aaron, this is a terrible thing that's to happen to the club.
Yeah,
Obviously,
it's a bit mad, really. It's a bit something you'd never think would happen to a club, even
no,
like at our
exactly.
level or any
Yeah,
level anywhere, because normally most of the people that work there are volunteers and come from other places just to support and just to steal things from like a minibus, like a kebab van. Like I don't really understand it. I don't
yeah,
really
I'm just
get why people
yeah.
would do that.
No,
It's
because
actually, it's actually quite a regular occurrence, unfortunately. When you think back to, we've had us obviously Wednesday. You had the bunch of amateurs camera gear got nicked
Oh yeah,
last
you
season
did,
out
yeah,
of the
last
back.
year out
You
there in the
had
car.
that was properly devastating. He almost
yeah,
I don't know if people know, but he almost had to stop his business because of that, and that's how serious it can be.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
also, there's a lot of clubs that are at lower levels to us that don't get the public publicity that we may do. We'll be lucky enough
yeah.
to get some, hopefully.
It
That
does. It
little,
does
little
happen.
they seem to happen quite a lot.
Yeah. So we put I put a tweet out from the podcast, a Twitter feed, saying that does seem to happen far too often these days. But like Simon said, a lot of the things that the clubs that have had these break-ins that have been a lot lower than us. So around here, we're talking Set 5, Set 6 clubs that
yeah.
have had break-ins. People have gone in and destroyed pitches because they can just jump over the fence. And obviously, other club non-league clubs like ours. I don't know what the security situation is at our clubs, but all these other clubs might have cameras, but they don't have alarms or anything to
Mm.
stop people from going onto the pitch, destroying pitches, destroying dugouts, and stuff like that. And it's like it's just happening all too often, and it's disgusting, really, and something obviously needs to be done to try and prevent this. But
Yeah.
what do you think needs to be done? What can be done?
I don't really know. I think you'd have to speak to the National League at this point and all
Hmm.
the league providers and just be like, what can you do to support it? I think as a community we need to obviously raise it as a serious incident because it shouldn't be happening. Especially like I
No.
say, most of the people that go there just want to go there to enjoy a game or to do a bit of volunteering in their own
Yeah.
spare time that they've got. Like most of the clubs I've played for, all the people that work around the club are volunteers and just do it out of the
Yeah.
love of the game and like our leagues, the league above, north, south, and a couple of leagues below, the last few years have really done really well from the non-league sort of aspect. We've like brought in loads of good crowds, and people have
Mm.
started to really enjoy it because it's quite a good standard, and you don't really know what you're going to get half the time, but it's also enjoyable and it's a bit of a social thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, if things like this are happening, it's going to probably scare people off as much as it's also no good for the clubs, and the clubs might struggle to get back from it. Like you said, if someone's absolutely destroying a pitch and you can't play
Yeah.
games, that's income for the
Yeah.
club. So the clubs might end up folding. That would massively affect us if someone came
Yeah.
and destroyed our pitch because not just through us, but we rent it out to all sorts of communities and other clubs that use it throughout the year. So yeah, it'd be a massive
No,
detriment
100%.
to
Yeah,
to us as a
100%.
team. So I think all clubs should just come together and support each other in these situations. I think like you say, the Dorking one last year, a bunch of amateurs, everyone went and supported him and the community came together and supported him. They end up, I think they found some of it in the end, but yeah, it's just
They raised some
outrageous.
money for him as well, didn't they?
Yeah,
So
yeah,
he could buy a couple of cameras to carry on doing the rest of the season. And then
yeah,
obviously I don't know what happened with the insurance because that insurance business around it all that was sort of dragging out a little bit for him as well. But obviously that's sorted because he's still going this season
yeah,
with them. So that which is really really good. But like you said, it affects these clubs, even clubs at our level greatly because, like you say, everyone's a volunteer there, and all the stuff that's been stolen costs money, and that's
yeah.
got to come out of the club's coffers, isn't it? So,
And
what?
I think one thing for me is that I think I saw the club shop had been broken into, and I know the lady
Yeah,
that Sue does that, and she does that all herself and funds it all and like everything in there. There's programs in there from my dad played at Farnborough, and I'm thinking
yeah,
some of
yeah,
those are actually like not like valuable items, but just rare items, and people like the
yeah,
nostalgia of going in there and reading through them all and be like, oh, I remember that game, blah blah blah.
yeah,
And
yeah,
I think it's just things like that, like all our hard work that's gone into that club shop, and then someone's gone and broken it in just because they might have wanted to have a bit of a joy time or being silly, or actually just because they're not like very nice people.
yeah.
I think it's horrible, really.
Yeah, I think they nicked a load of burgers as well. So if anybody gets offered a few packs of frozen burgers that look a bit past their sell by date. No offense, Roger. That they they might be So it might shot him anyway. I joke, but
But it's the kebab van as well.
but-
They broke into the kebab van as well. Well, I don't know what.
honestly, it's like take anything that's not nailed down, isn't it? That's unbelievable.
Yeah.
But so yeah, anyway, we need to shop these people. So if anybody does know any information, as Al said, contact
Yeah.
Hampshire 101. Try and shop them. Don't care if you get called a grass. Shop them. They need stopping.
Yeah.
All this is not. It's not on. It's not acceptable.
But also as well, don't
you know.
forget that a lot of this stuff that they've taken, they can move on as well. So if anybody sees anything on eBay or Amazon or whatever of like training equipment, shirts that they might have taken out of the club shop, programs like you said, Aaron, anything like that, or do you know what I mean, they broke into Sylvie's kitchen and burger van, any kind of kitchen utensils that you use in these kinds of kitchens. If you see anything like that online that's going cheap, the chances are, if it's in it's in the local area, chances are it's ours. And
if it's stuff like that, if it's stuff like that, and the prices sound too good to be true, it probably isn't it. So be wary. Don't get done for handling stolen goods, for God's sake. So when you know full well you probably are doing what you're doing. Anyway, not a sad event. Hopefully it'll be the one occasion only, and we can put it behind us. But yeah, I mean, just changing all the locks is going to be a flipping mammoth task, isn't it? So
I mean, it's all going to be a big issue. I'm sure. Like, do you know what I mean, a lot of it is covered by insurance and stuff like that because it is a break in the middle of the night. But that doesn't matter because
I'll tell you what though, I'm not looking forward to pushing the van to
vandalised, really, haven't you?
Yeah, I'm not looking forward to pushing the van to Hemel. I've got a couple of people. I've got a couple of horses.
Pushing it. You're gonna have to carry it, mate.
There'll be eight of us underneath. So right, come on, lads, off we go. Yeah.
And Hill Mob.
Yeah. Fred Flintstone. Yeah.
Anyway, let's come on to you then, Aaron. We'll talk about the injury in a little bit. We'll just start with the beginning for the season, really, pre-season. How is it all going? Was you good? Was you feeling good? Was you feeling fit and ready?
Pre-season. I don't really like pre-season because I'd rather just keep on training throughout the whole year because you do lose so much fitness and it's hard to regain it. But pre-season was good actually. I thought like it was very, very different to what I've had previous. It was like a brand new team we walked into basically. I think the first pre-season game, I think we had 3 players that played with each other that started in the game. So it was basically like a brand new changing room. So it was a bit quiet to start with, which would be natural. Obviously all the new boys trying to find their feet and impress as much as doing anything. But yeah, it was a good pre-season. I think we ended up bonding quite well as a team towards the end of it. Some of the results, obviously the first one wasn't the best result, but again, like I say, if you've got a brand new team, it's quite difficult to gel and understand how to play with each other. And I know some of the boys had played with each other previous, but by the end of the preseason, I thought we were starting to actually get right into gear. When we played the bigger teams, even when we played Portsmouth, I thought we performed very well. It was just the scoreline sort of didn't really mirror what the game was like until they brought on all their big firing stars in the second half. When all of us were dying and were about to play 90 minutes. That's where all the goals started coming in. But we had loads of chances in that game. Eastleigh games exactly the same. I thought we'd done very, very well against them and made them look no better than us, and even though they're a league up. So I think the whole pre-season on a whole was actually very, very good. And I think we had a good bonding session as a team, and I think that really brought us together towards the season starting.
Yeah, I thought you did well pre-season. I could see you were quite rusty to start. I went to a few of the pre-season games. I could tell you were a bit rusty.
Definitely.
You had a few holidays. I could see it. There's nothing wrong with that, of course. But like I say, it does take a bit of time to get the fitness back, and some people enjoy pre-season, others don't. And it's just a matter of getting together, as you say, just bonding. But I thought we started the season off fairly okay, and obviously then we moved on to the Worthing game. Obviously things there were going all right until the 91st minute, both for the club and yourself, wasn't it? And then the tackle happened. Do you remember much about it or what was going on?
I remember it. I remember winding Cookie up actually about 10 minutes before, like 5 minutes before. He couldn't take a throw and he went out and they foul throw twice, and I was laughing at him. And then he'd done something, kicked off the pitch, and I was winding him up, and I was just like, I've always done that with Cookie because I know what he's like, and we've always got onto each other. And I don't really think anything about it. And I think in my head I probably thought he was being malicious, but like it was just a 50-50 and you go into it, and I never back out from one of those, and neither did he. And it's just, like I say, it's unfortunately innocuous challenge that I keep on saying, my new word that my fiance keeps on saying. But yeah, it's just one of those where when I did it, I didn't think anything of it. I didn't think I'd done anything straight away. And then once I rolled over, I looked at my leg a bit, and I was like, when I was rolling, I was like, that don't look right. And then I fully stopped and went to lift my leg. I was like, oh, okay, yeah, that's not right. But yeah,
What
you
about the
definitely.
pain? Was the pain instant or?
No, like I say, I'm trying to sound like a hard man, but I'm not. But I think it's because there's no nerves in your bone, and the pain wasn't instant. I just knew that there was something up, like
Yeah.
there was something wrong, and I knew it because when I rolled, like I could see it kind of. It sounds bad, but like flopping, and I was like, oh,
Yeah, yeah,
that's not
yeah.
good. So then I literally went to lift it a bit, and I could see my foot didn't move, and I was like, all right, well, I'm just going to stay in this position and not move because until I've got some medical aid, I'm not trying to stand up or do anything
Yeah,
because
yeah, obviously,
that's
yeah.
when something serious happens.
Yeah. You actually spot on there because when you didn't move, well, because I was sat exactly opposite to where it happened, and when the tackle came in, obviously Cookie came in, tackle, he got the ball just before you,
Yeah,
and
literally.
that was the trouble because if he'd hit the ball at the same time, which I think was the aim on the tackle, you'd have been all right because the ball would have took the impact.
I think that's what it is.
Yeah, the ball moved and you could obviously clash shins and
Yeah.
and
And I think in the picture
yeah.
or the video, I've watched the video, it's literally, I think the ball just ricochets off my leg and just pings out somewhere.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, the next thing is my leg is open as it can be because I went inside foot. And yeah, I think that it just must have just hit a weak point. But I spoke to the doctor, I said, was my bone weak anyway? And he said, no, it doesn't seem to be weak. It was pretty hard to get the drill through. So I was like, oh, it must have just been the force of everything because we did both fly in and that was it. I think it's just the
Yeah.
absolute steaming in from both of us just
Yeah.
caused it to just break. And
yeah, I think it was just the angle because he was coming in at more of a straighter angle and you were sort of more of the side, and I think that's what's done you really. And
yeah, and you think,
yeah, go on.
no, I was just going to say, you think he's probably weighing 90 kilograms or 80 something, and I'm about 80 myself, so it's some force by flying in it.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, I was speaking to Steve Baker when you were down and getting treatment. They were deciding what to do with you. They had the old lethal injection out at one point. I said, "No, it's a bit early for that."
I thought they could chop it off. I might be able to play for England.
Did they bring the curtain out, bring it round you like they do on the horses?
It was a bit strange. There was a handyman turn up. We said, "Oh, I've got a hacksaw in the back of the van." And they were like, "Well, maybe later."
Mate, it would have given me an opportunity to maybe play for England one day, just to learn how to play with my left foot, though. It's not very good.
Yeah, the amputees team. Yeah, it's finding some glory for you. Yeah. But yeah, I was talking to Steve Baker on the side, and obviously they were deciding. They knew, obviously, we all knew it was bad. And then he just said to me, I want to get on with Steve quite well, and he said, "Oh, do you know what? When he came in for that tackle, I was thinking." He said exactly the same thing as me. You were on a booking, weren't you, at the time?
Yeah, I think
we all said, please don't, Aaron, just put out of it. And then that happened. And we all thinking you get sent off, and then the worst happened because then you end up with a broken leg. I mean,
I think if I weren't on a booking, I probably would have gone in a bit more, not nastier, but would have protected myself a little bit more. I'd have probably just gone in, maybe stud shown a little bit, but like
a bit, yeah.
But yeah. I think it's just one of those, like you say, you never wish it to happen, and you don't see much of it, to be fair. Like I can only think of 3 that have ever happened in my time watching football, like Alan Smith, Eduardo, and there's one other I can't remember now. But
the Eduardo one. Yeah, I remember that. God, that was naughty, wasn't it? That was really bad.
Yeah, but you don't really see it very often, and when you do see it, it's normally quite bad. But
going back a bit further, I think it was probably before you started watching football, a certain age. But there was the Dave Boost one with Coventry at Old Trafford. That was probably the worst I've seen. That was
I think I remember that. Yeah,
that was 9 places. That was horrendous. That was horrendous. That was. But I remember just Peter Schmeichel's face of all people. He was like waving everybody on, and God knows what else. And it was like you. Exactly opposite to you. No one waved anybody on. They just sort of the physio sort of ambled up. Saying, "Oh, he'll be up in a minute. It'll be all right." And then
that's literally what they said because I think Frank went down with a head injury. So Holly ran on to Frank, and normally they're just like, "Cool, you get up, he'll be fine." Like limp it off or something, and I just didn't move. And I think Mason came over to me first. I was like, "Mason, I broke my leg. Can you just get someone to come over because I'm not too sure what to do."
I love it. You're so relaxed there, and it's so funny.
So what was the process then after that? Because you were down obviously on the pitch for a long time before you were actually able to get off and the game resumed. So what was the process? Because I was listening to a bit of it on the commentary on the comms, and I thought at some point that surely the referee is going to call a game, is going to abandon it.
I was a bit baffled by that. I was thinking, there's 2 minutes to play. I've been on the pitch. I don't know how long I've been on there, but I must have been on there about 20 minutes. I was thinking, surely both teams
25 minutes.
Yeah, so it's mad. So both teams have got to go at one point. Well, it's 2 minutes to play. They're 1-0 up.
Yeah.
It's the 90-something minute. I think even if the game got forfeited, we'd still win the game. So I
Yeah.
think it has to go past like 60 something minutes, and the score has to be determined. But I can't remember the full rules. But surely both teams would have. I thought they would have just gone, we'll just call it. Like,
We could call
but
it, yeah.
but I
Well,
guess Worthing thought 2 minutes they might have a chance to score a goal and get an equaliser. But I think it was a bit mad. I don't really know who made the call, whether it's the ref or both
well,
teams or the physio.
I
I'm
can I
not
can I can enlighten you on that because the ref was going to abandon the match. Um,
okay.
he rang. He was on the. He had to ring somebody up to get some advice first, and then he actually the only reason you actually went on the stretcher off because they obviously the medical guys didn't want to move you, which is fair enough. But he was worried you were going to get too cold on the pitch. It was quite a cold, chilly night in the end.
Yeah, I think they were
Yeah,
getting a bit worried about the
yeah.
hypothermia, weren't they?
Yeah, the referee said that, and he said, "Listen, I want him off the pitch because if you don't get him off in the next 5 minutes, I've got to abandon the game. And secondly, I'm worried he's going to get too cold. So that's why they stuck you up by Sylvie's kitchen, didn't they? In the end, and
Yeah, I
everyone was
was
sort of
dying
looking
for
at you.
something to eat.
Yeah,
I was absolutely starving.
it was the smell of the
Honestly, I was like, "Can I have a drink of water or something?"
yeah.
No, because you might have to have an operation. I was like, "No way!
You,
Surely
you,
I can have a drink of water or something."
yeah, you were fine till they got you near Sylvie's kitchen. It's the smell of the chips, wasn't it? It got you. Yeah, yeah.
I was dying for some nuggets.
Happens to me all the time, Aaron. I have to say, yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah,
So
I think
yeah,
I was just on the floor, and then I think it took me an hour to get off altogether off the pitch, and then over to the side, and then ambulance turned up. They were like, "Oh, there's one coming. It's like 25 minutes away," and I was like, "It's on, the Farnborough's like 4 minutes away from Frimley
Yeah.
Park, surely."
Yeah.
But because I think I was so relaxed and so calm, I think they didn't really panic too much because
Yeah.
there was no real seriousness about it. And then until they asked me a few serious questions like, "Can you feel this? Can you feel that?" And I was like, "Actually, my foot's a bit weird. I can't really feel too much in my toes." And the
Mm.
guy was like, "Oh, okay." So they're starting to get a little bit more serious because my foot basically wasn't facing the right way. It was like
Yeah.
right angle, my knee was
We're
straight.
talking. We're going into the whole blood flow situation and
Yeah,
the
yeah,
nerves and feeling. Yeah.
yeah. So then I think that's when the second like emergency doctor who can drive up in a car was like, "Okay, we'll just get the ambulance, get another one quick." And then next thing you know, I was in one, had a little whistle, but yeah, this like green whistle, which is like better than gas and air. But that's all I had really, and that just like relaxed me a little bit, so they could move me into another brace.
Mm.
Just because it was just such an awkward feeling, like and you could feel it all moving around, and that was the worst bit every time. And there was a little bit of pain with that. But yeah, I think the reason why I didn't get rushed off is because I was quite chilled. Ellie, my fiance, said the same thing. She was like, "I was really panicky, and then I came and saw you, and you were laughing, and I was like, what am I worried about? He's fine." And I was thinking, I wasn't over exaggerating. I have broke my leg, but I am fine. But yeah, then literally got to hospital, and then yeah, literally it was actually one of the best experiences I've ever had for like being looked after. For the moment I stepped in from the ambulance, I was literally treated like royalty. I got in there. A&E was
Mm.
quiet. There was probably like three people in there. Um, and then lady popped in. She's like, "Oh, my brother's just called me." So I think it's the cameraman, Dave. His sister works in there. So she's like, "My brother just called me saying you were coming in, just checking in, see you're okay." I was like, "Oh, yeah, all good, thank you. Nice to see you." Had a little chat. And then the orthopedic surgeon came in and was like, "Okay, we've got just got to straighten your leg up because we can't get a pulse in your foot." And I was like, "Oh." So then it started to get serious again. And I was thinking, "Oh, okay, I can't get a pulse in my foot. That doesn't sound too great." And then he was like, listing off all the things that can happen if we can't. And I was like, "All right." Wasn't really paying attention. Ellie was. So I was just thinking, "Can't get a
Yeah.
pulse in my foot. You got to straighten it." And I'm thinking, "Oh, that's going to be painful. They've got to straighten it." So they like put me under for that and used enough to apparently doubled the dose because my adrenaline was obviously still pumping from the game.
Yeah. Yeah.
Straightened it, put me in a little like plaster cast for a bit for 24 hours, and then I had like a CT and an X-ray, and it was all fine after that. But I had plaster casts all over me because apparently I was fighting them off because I didn't want them to straighten it because I don't remember half of it. I think I came round and asked Ellie to plait my hair or something, and she was laughing at me. But yeah, and then like I say, I just stayed in A&E overnight. Then next morning got moved to a ward, and on the way to the ward, they said, "Oh, someone's called up to move you to Frimley Park Parkside, which is like the private area." I was like, "Oh, fantastic! This is amazing." Again, like someone
Yeah.
going out their way to try and make my journey better, which was I'm forever grateful for.
any idea who that was?
I think I found out now. I think
Okay.
it's a combination of all sorts of people
Yeah.
just calling in at the same time. But I think it was
Mm.
the cameraman's sister who works in A&E. She called up and then obviously had mentioned it to someone at Parkside, and then their boss like emailed in, I can't tell you exactly who. There's like 3 or 4 people who said they've supported
That's
him
really
doing
good.
it. So,
Yeah.
like I say, I'm just very grateful for all of
It,
that.
yeah, all I can
I'm
say,
so
it wasn't
touched.
me, Aaron, because I called up and they were going to downgrade you. So yeah,
Honestly, it was amazing, and I got so lucky. And then once I got in there, I literally sat down on the bed. They got me out of the wheelchair and sat me on the bed, and they were like, "Oh yeah, you need to go down for your op now." And I was like, "What? I haven't even been in here 5 minutes." They were like, "Yeah, they're getting you ready for an op straight away. They want you down there." They asked me if I could stand up on my broken leg, and I was like, "No, I don't think I can." So I was like, "I might need to get wheeled
Were they
down
are
there."
they are they trained? Were they trained doctors? Yeah.
Yeah, I hope so. Honestly, I was
sure,
just in a private area, and they're asking me to
it was
stand up.
Parkside, not Darkside, wasn't it?
I think because they thought my leg was cast, it would just be solid, and I was thinking, no, I'm not standing up. I'll lay on the bed. And then yeah, before you know it, I was back in the room. Ordered a prawn sandwich. Don't know why I ordered that. Ate that. Was nearly sick when the doctor came around. He was talking to me because I hadn't eaten for 24 hours,
Yeah.
or maybe a bit longer, I think, at that point. And he literally was like talking to me about the surgery, and I was just sitting there focused with like a bucket under me, trying not to be sick. And then yeah, I was discharged the next day. It was yeah, I only had one bit of a nervous bit where they were like, if there's any real pain, there's a thing called compartment syndrome where your leg needs to just be cut open and release all the pressure. And I was like, well, overnight I was just waking up every 5 minutes thinking, oh, that bit of pain, is that compartment syndrome?
God.
But yeah, I found
These,
some new
these doctors,
new
they do wonderful things, but they do like to make you worry about it
yeah,
all as well at
definitely.
the same time.
They've got to though, haven't they? They got to tell you everything. So
Yeah, it's,
um
it's almost like so the surgery was a success, but
yeah.
this is good. This could happen. This could happen. Oh no, yeah,
Yeah,
I'm not a fan of
I
that.
sound, it sound like you me, Aaron. I'd rather just like them not tell me anything. Yeah, just do the operation. Just get on with it. As
Yeah.
long as I can walk out of it tomorrow, I'll be quite happy. Just don't say
And that
nothing.
was
Don't tell me
literally it.
anything.
They finished the operation. The doctor came around, took my plaster off, and he was like shunting the bottom of my leg. And I was thinking, surely you shouldn't be doing that. He was like, no, it's fine now. You've just got 2 bits of metal in there. So he was giving it a bit of a hit, and he was thinking, yeah, that's solid. I'm quite happy with that. And I was thinking, Jesus Christ, just whacking my leg around.
Oh
But yeah,
God.
like I say, I was
Wait,
treated like absolute royalty in there. I'm very grateful for the whole experience, and I'll forever be grateful for Emily Park. They did like unbelievable, and yeah, for treating my family. Ellie was treated like royalty as well. She was there pretty much 24/7.
Oh, that's
She's
good.
experienced some things that she never thought she'd experience with me.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a quick 70 hours in the hospital, but yeah, it was very, very special, and like I was very well looked after. So I would never be in the situation I'm in now. Thinking 3 weeks ago, I was laying on a
No,
pitch probably
exactly.
at this time, or laying in
Yeah.
hospital now. But yeah,
Yeah. And then we move on to the GoFundMe page that
oh
was set up on your behalf by the club. I believe it was by the club.
yeah,
Which I don't know what the figure is currently, but the last we heard was a couple of weeks ago. It was just over 13,000.
yeah. So
Um,
I think the club set it up. I think it was either Mike or Rob, the chairman. I think they came in together thinking like it would be good to support me in
yeah,
there in that way. And I think they set the target as like 3 grand to start with. And
yeah,
I think I went to sleep and Ellie messaged me saying, Aaron, it's already over 3 grand. I'm thinking, what? And I couldn't believe it. Honestly, I'm actually gobsmacked by the support from everyone. Like it's literally everyone in the football
yeah,
community, and it's
yeah,
actually really touching. And I got a little bit emotional. I did a radio interview last week, 2 weeks ago on BBC Surrey, and I was talking. I actually got a bit like choked talking about it. And I've never been
yeah,
emotional when I talk about things to do with football. And even when I did my knee and when I got released from football from Reading, and like I've never ever been too emotional. Just like sort of like this is football. This is what life's like. It gives you a
mm,
but honestly, I've been so lucky and so fortunate to be well, just the generosity from everyone around and how everyone supported me. Just
mm,
messages, little things like people pop round, cards. Like I had the under 12s team write me a card saying wishing you well. Honestly,
oh,
just turning up
definitely.
to the ground after doing it. I came in for the Monday and I came in. Oh, was it Monday? I think I came to the game. Yeah, I came to the
yeah,
game. I was
Western
there for
game.
half a game. And like just everyone speaking to messages. I had like 100 and something messages to reply to. It was honestly just touching how wonderful the football community is and how well fortunate I
Yeah,
am that everyone seemed
yeah.
to like
But this
just
is it.
support
We
me.
we obviously we sort of donated as well to
Yeah.
to the page as well. But like I said, me and
50p
Simon
each.
said, and
50p each.
Hey mate,
Yeah, yeah,
honestly,
yeah. Once you got up,
thank
once
you.
you got up to once you got up to like 10, 11 grand, I said to Simon, "Can we get our money back?" Because he doesn't need it.
Honestly,
He's so tight. Honestly, he did. He meant it as well. And I said, you can't do that. You can't.
nah,
But I said to Simon, and we both agreed, and we said this to other people as well, that it's in situations like this, like what happened to you, it's where you see what the football community is all about,
yeah,
and how everybody rallies together to help a player like yourself, that works as well as plays,
mm,
and donates and generously. Everyone donates all this money to help you with your cause and your rehabilitation, and the fact that you're out of work as well. I don't know what your situation is with them in regards to sick pay and stuff like that, but
yeah,
obviously the money that you're getting is going to help with your living situation and non-working situation. But it's such an amazing community that we're all part of, and it's like I said, it's times like this where everyone, it really shows us. It shows how amazing it is.
yeah. Literally, I agree. I think it is. I was looking at people that did donate. I had the Worthing chairman or part owner. I don't know the exact situation. He donated a
Mm.
massive lump sum, and then you've got people that I played football with years ago, and then I've got just
Yeah,
friends I go to school with, random people I don't even know, and it's like
yeah,
literally, it does show how amazing the
mm.
community around football is. Like all these people
Yeah,
that are willing to give some of their hard-earned money to support me, which will be to going towards my rehab, maybe supporting me if I don't get a club in a year's time because I'm still not fully fit.
mm.
Maybe supporting me with my work, like you say, with sick pay. It's the be the all-round support, and I think that's what's nice as well. People realizing it's not just like money going in my pocket and me just wasting it.
Yeah,
It's actually going towards everything to do around football. I'm out of
yeah,
work. I'm out of football. I've lost a community of two areas, like my two social
mm.
lives. So I think like it takes a long toll on you all over. So this will help. Like it will help with everything in life. And I
Yeah.
think, like I said, like you say, it's amazing how kind and grateful people are and generous and like they're just honest, lovely people. I like I say,
I think
I can't
it
say
shows
thank you
how
enough. I am speechless half the time because I don't know what to
yeah.
say. I
I
literally
mean,
don't. I've said
it
thank
shows
you, but
how much love there is for you, not just as a person, because you're a cracking person as well, great to chat to, but as a player, you're a great player, and you're loved by everyone that's associated with clubs that you play for. I think I saw there were Reading fans that were donating as well.
yeah,
I mean, this is a club that you haven't played for years, but you're still fondly thought of
yeah. Even
by
Aldershot.
them. Yeah,
Yeah,
Aldershot, you wouldn't think
yeah.
that, would you? I played for Farnborough, and I think last time when I played for Aldershot and I was on trial, I played against Wickham. I got booed by both teams because the next Reading player playing for Wickham, playing against Wickham, playing for Aldershot. I was like, I can't even win anything. Like, but yeah, and they ended up raising like 150 quid, which is like I'm gobsmacked
yeah,
on their minibus, which like I said, it's just everyone seemed to have just been so generous and so kind. And like I say, it wasn't even half like the money is lovely to have, but just the messages I got from people just saying, hoping
mm,
you're well, if you need anything. Like some people from work took me out just to go out for a drive the other day because I couldn't do anything, but they were like, we'll just come pick you up, we'll go for a drive, and just had a chat in the car and then came home. And like it's like I say, it's just little things like messages and little
mm.
comments. Someone's made me a Lego figure, which I'm absolutely buzzing with. It's like the
So I
best thing
saw that. That looked good actually. Yeah.
it's honestly one of the
Yeah.
best things I've ever seen. It's so good. Got the right color boot on and everything. Got my kit on. It got they thought I had a cast, so it's got a cast on it.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
brilliant.
that
They
looked
gave me a
nice,
bit more
yeah.
facial hair, which I was quite enjoying as well. So like I actually got a beard instead of bum
Yeah.
fluff.
You're
But
How did
your
they
Lego
do this? How
character.
did they get this sorted? How did
I
they do
don't
this on a
know.
Lego?
Like the Lego heads that pop off. It
Yeah.
looks
Yeah,
legit as well. It's
Yeah.
brilliant.
yeah,
Yeah. As soon as I saw it, I thought that is cool. That's definitely cool. There's no
It's
mistaking it.
brilliant, honestly,
No
and it's
mistaking it.
like I was so touched by that. I couldn't stop smiling. I was looking at it for an hour.
I did say I thought the right leg being bent the wrong way was a bit harsh on you, but it was pretty good. What I was going to bring on to, obviously we talked about the GoFundMe page and people's wonderful generosity. What's your plans for the money? Obviously, other than the Caribbean cruise, obviously.
Yeah, we
What's
just upgraded the honeymoon.
You're getting married, aren't you? Obviously as well, and yeah, obviously that's coming up, and things like that. But obviously people will probably be interested in what you're going to do with the money, and why. What I'd like to know from you is why. What's the difference between having 5 grand and having 13 grand?
Oh, it's
With terms of rehabilitation, the things you can
yeah. So
do, things like that.
So basically, I think the first bit will be going towards all my physio. So at the moment, I've bought a game ready, which not a lot of people will know, but some of the football community might know what it is. It's like a compression ice machine. We've rented that for a little while, but I might end up purchasing it. But that costs 2.5 grand just itself, and it's just a machine. And all it does is
Yeah.
it ices and compresses at the same time, so it aids with my recovery. And like if we all know when we're back at school, rice is the key part of recovery,
Yeah.
resting and
Yeah. Yeah.
icing. And that does it like in no ends. I can literally put it on a timer and put a load of ice in there, and it go on every hour for half an hour. And it goes tight, it compresses it, and then reduces the swelling. And to be fair, I've had that for a month now, and we're probably going to send it back in another month's time. But so that's going to cost me about £1 grand just to have that for 2 months. But what it will do, it will benefit me massively. And then there'll be a large chunk of the money it will go to my rehab, which will be over at Go Before in Reading. And that will just be like 3 to 4 sessions a week, getting near enough professional physio treatment and sports therapy and sports coaching. So I'll have
Mm.
all sorts from seeing the physio, doing exercises, doing rehab, doing little like infrared treatment on my scar, this electrical impulse treatment, which will helps bone growth and enhance that. Plus exercises to get ankle and knee movement back because that will be big for me because I've got bolts sitting in my knee and in my
Mm.
ankle. So getting that sort of movement back, it will be pushing through the pain barrier, getting used to that. Then doing strength sessions and cardio sessions in like an altitude chamber and stuff like that. So pretty much getting Premier League sort of rehabilitation whilst working and being part time
Mm.
a footballer. So doing that is going to be fantastic, and that will really aid me getting back hopefully within a year instead of
Mm.
being 3 years like it was when I did my knee. And that my knee injury should only really have been 6 months, and it took me near enough 3 years to come back because I had to fund it all myself, and that
Yeah.
was when I had enough money, when I had time to go. And whereas this is going to be like, all right, I'm trying to liaise with Holly, the physio, because she really wants to come and join in and pretty much see me do my full recovery. So we're going to do at least 3 to 4 sessions a week, and then that will basically I'll pretty much be like a full-time rehab, and that will
Yeah.
most of the money will go towards that. And then probably the rest will sit there just in case I have any complications. I will probably try and give some back to the club in some point. Once I'm back playing, I'll definitely give some back to the club, but it will sit there in case like I get complications. And I speak to my physio the other day, and they said there are sometimes a lot of complications with your ankles and your knees. Some people even get the second metal bit removed because of the complications. And like I say, a large chunk of it will all go to physio. I'm trying to go to a hyperbaric chamber as well. So literally, I'm trying everything to get me back
Yeah.
quicker, fitter, trying to basically get rehab like a professional. Um, and then if there is any chance of me getting back before the season finishing, that'd be fantastic. But I've got no time frame at the moment because it's all unknown for me. But that is where all the money will go. It will be going towards literally aiding my physio to be like a professional footballer, trying to get
Is this
that top
is this a
class.
case of like because like you said a minute ago that like when you had your knee injury you had to fund a lot of the all of the rehab and that yourself, which is why it
Yeah.
took so long. Now this is obviously a different kind of injury. But it was a double break on your leg. If you didn't have this help from the community with this money, is this a case of like I don't want to put a down on it, but is this a case of like it's a career ending
Yeah,
injury
yeah,
for a non-league player?
yeah. Especially at my age, like I'm not old, but like at 29, I think it would take me, like I say, 3 years to get back. And
Mm.
I'll be honest, when I came back from my knee injury, it took me 3 years to get back.
Mm.
Neil Baker will agree that I played at Slough for a bit. I came back and I picked up little niggle injuries, and then he sent me out on loan. He was like, "You need to just get games. I can't guarantee you games, so you need to go get games." So I went to Basingstoke and I played. I think I played like 30 games, and it was at a lower level, but I wasn't at my best. I couldn't be, because every time I played a pass, my knee would shoot with a pain because I wasn't back to it. So it took me about 2 years to get back to my best, or being back
Yeah.
to a good standard where I was happy with what I was doing. I wasn't in pain anymore. So yeah, it is. It's kind of like a career ender, because if I took 5 years to say, let's get back to the level I was playing back last month, not that it's a good level, and not that I was performing that well at all until the Worthing game. But getting back to that, like 5 years time, I'll be 35, nearly
Yeah.
36. You're thinking, well, what's the point really? Like, might as well
Yeah.
focus on looking at progressing a career outside of football. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's definitely one of those situations, especially because you don't know what you're going to get with complications. You don't know what you're going to get. And that's the first thing I said when I was on the floor. I said, I had like a little wobbly moment where I was trying to be nice and relaxed, but I was like, this is me done. Like, I'm not
Yeah.
coming back from
Yeah.
this, because I saw the state of my leg. I was thinking, nah, that's me. I'm done. But yeah, like I
I mean,
say,
that is only natural to do that when you get really serious. And as you
Yeah.
know, it is very serious. I mean, if you are thinking about giving money back to the club, I know they're short of 4 tyres for a van at the minute, so that might be a
exactly.
good start.
And I need
Yeah,
some
just
food for the van. Yeah.
maybe get down Santa's tyres and get a quote. But what I was going to say is, are you going to hope? I'm hoping you're going to use your experience that you have with your knee, with this in terms of like mentally and physically, to get yourself back in, because obviously when you've had a long injury before, it can kind of help you because you know what you're going through.
Yeah.
Most people, I think when you did your knee, you're probably thinking like most people, oh yeah, I'll be back in 6 months, blah blah blah. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
literally. And
You're a
that,
bit naive, aren't you? You know what I mean?
I think, yeah, I was much younger when I did my knee. It was only, I think it's like 21, I think. And I think when I did my knee, I actually had such a terrible situation. It was a terrible situation compared to what I've got now. So like, I was comparing it the other week. I left a football club.
Mm.
I didn't have an income. I didn't have any insurance. I didn't have a work or like another job alongside football. So I basically had
Mm.
no income. And luckily, I was under a certain age of my mum's healthcare that she could claim on
Yeah.
it. So then that basically funded all my rehab. But that was basically, it funded a surgery, which truthfully didn't go very well. So then I had to have another surgery, and then funded me one physio session a month, which literally isn't enough to get me back when I
Yeah.
wanted to.
Yeah.
So, and then I compared myself to this situation where I've got a club that supporting me at all ends. I've got this GoFundMe. I've got another job that will pay me a certain amount of sick pay. I've got a fiance that's looking after me and supporting me all over the place. And I've got the community of all the football community that I've got now because I've built up for the last 4 or 5 years. And I'll have such a better mindset in this situation where
Yeah.
I know I've been not doing anything this last 3 weeks, but I've sort of got a better positive attitude towards it. And I think, yeah, it's one of those where you've had a previous injury, you can sort of just sit and mope. And I didn't really do anything with my last injury. I was injured for 3 years and I didn't really progress in anything. Whereas this time I
Yeah.
actually am doing a little bit of study and I'm doing some things to like, well, I've got a wedding to plan for, so I'm doing loads of things to that. But yeah, yeah, I definitely can address the situation better. And all I would say is, if anyone does have an injury like this, it's don't get down in the dumps, because it's not the end, and there's always something you can look forward to. And like I say, little goals at the moment. I'm going to get a plaster taken off on Monday, and that's my next little goal. And you've got to set little milestones. Like I
Yeah.
think in 4 weeks' time, I'll see the doctor again. I'm pretty much hoping to get off crutches then. So that's another little milestone, and it's little things like that. And yeah, today I found out I could roll over and lay on my side, which is a massive milestone because I've been laying on my back for the last 3 weeks and absolutely killing my back. But little things, and you just have to not overthink it. And I know it's easy for me to say,
Yeah.
but you overthink it, then you do start spiraling, and then that's where you start getting yourself in real serious issues.
Yeah, no, absolutely, absolutely, and you've got all your friends and your family as well. They're obviously helping you out, like you said earlier. The people coming around to just to take you out for a drive, just to get you out of the house and a
Yeah.
bit of fresh air. So yeah, you've got people around you that are good people around you that are willing to help and support you as well, which is really good and also really key for your well being.
Yeah, definitely. And like I say, like I'm going to be grateful for everyone. Like just having been able to talk to you guys, being able to see people at games. Like I've only been going to halves. I'm going to try and make a full game this weekend, but like
Yeah,
it's nice to just be able to get out and just to see people. Not that I can do anything when I'm there. I'm sitting there like in the most awkward position in history, trying to watch a football match. But it's nice to just see people, talk to people, get out, like get a bit of sunshine, like just sat inside watching the rain pour down. It's lovely. But
Yeah.
like I say, I'm forever grateful at the moment for everyone just like I say, I'm just touched. I don't really know what to say half the time.
Well, on that subject of going to the games, apparently we've lost the last two home games you've been to, so unfortunately you're banned now for us to see. But how do you find watching rather than playing? Is it horrible for you, or do you?
Oh yeah, it's terrible. Like everyone will say it. Like when I last did my knee, I didn't actually watch football. I
Mm.
banned it from my life basically because if I was watching it, that's where I would have got a bit down because I'm watching all my mates doing really well, and I'm not a jealous person, but I would have been like, look at them, they're
Yeah.
flying, and I'm sitting here with my leg in a cast or doing
Mm.
these little exercises trying to make my quad come back. Whereas, like, yeah, when you watch it, you got that you flinch when people go passes into tackles and shots and stuff.
Yeah.
You think you're on the pitch, but yeah, it's never fun to watch. But it's nice to support the lads. It's the least I can do. Like they supported me, so I can support them and sit with the fans and
Yeah.
cheer them on.
And how have you found the game's been for us as a club?
Yeah, I think the league this year is wild. Anyone can beat anyone. I think there might be more full-time teams this year, but the
Mm.
first game of the season we should have won. I think Eastbourne we let it slip ourselves. Like I don't think the strikers were all firing on all cylinders at that point, but I think we should have definitely won that game. Um,
Yeah.
definitely. And then I think we've been a bit inconsistent since then. I think Worthing, we really performed well as a team. I thought we were very good across the board. I think they dominated, but we were typical us, like we did against them last year. We're solid and hard to beat and got a win, which was fantastic.
Mm.
I think we were amazing, obviously, against Hornchurch, but let a slip go again, let a win go. Because again, like I think if you get taking me and Billy out of the midfield, the team's so young in there in the midfield. And
Yeah.
again, like
Yeah.
we were an older team this year. We got a few older heads compared to last year. But again, once you lose a few of the senior players, if they're injured or just not performing at the top level, like all of a sudden we're really young again. I think people don't realise that. I think when we started on the weekend, I think Connor's 18,
Mm.
Hughie's only 20 something, and then all of a sudden you think the midfield's average age of 18, 19 again. You're thinking
Yeah.
Kai comes on, he's only I think 19, isn't he?
Yep.
And
Yeah.
yeah, then you forget how young we are. But I think you look at Chelmsford, we went and battered a team who have spent outrageous amounts of money and brought in some big players from the league, and then we go and lose to Western, and then you think, oh, but that's what I think the league's like. I think once we can get a run, we'll be we'll be flying. I think
Yeah.
that's what
Yeah.
we need. We
Yeah.
just need a little run, like an FA Cup run, like you say, would be
Yeah.
fantastic. So if this weekend we can pick up a run, and that will build up our season.
Yeah.
But we just need to be a bit more consistent. I think we've just been a bit up and down, and
Yeah.
I think that's the league itself. If you look at who's top, you would never think they would be top. But fair play to them, they've been consistent and
Yeah.
they're
I
top.
think,
But
yeah, I think you're right there. Spencer sort of alluded to it after the Dover game at the weekend, because obviously, like I said, we smashed Chelmsford not a few days before,
mhm.
and then all of a sudden, and then Dover come to us, and we go and lose that, and now we've got Dover again this weekend in the FA Cup.
Yeah, which is
We might end up going winning 6-0. Do you
yeah,
know what I mean? Is that like I say, is that inconsistent?
yeah.
We don't know what's going to happen when we turn up.
I think it's also a mentality thing. I think it's something that the young lads will start to understand.
Mm.
It's a sort of mentality. I think when you don't have any pressure on you, I was listening to a podcast about it the other day. It's like when you don't have any pressure on you, you end up performing really well. Like so, we go play
Mm.
Chelmsford. If we lost, it wouldn't matter because Chelmsford are spent all this money, and it'll be like,
Yeah.
well done, lads, you've done well, good effort. If we worked hard, but in the end, we went and smashed them because we had no pressure on us. And it was fantastic, and I think we saw a bit of this last year when we went and played teams where they're top of the league. You look at we played Dorking at their place, and you think
Yeah.
they're up there and we've fallen away, but we had no pressure on us and we were 2-0 down in the first minute. So the pressure had totally gone. All of a sudden,
Yeah.
we're absolutely battering them, should have won the game.
Yeah.
And I think that is the sort of thing we've got to find as a team. We're a young team still. We've got a few older heads in there, but we've got to find that when we're expected to win, we need to at least get a draw or win. And then knowing what sort of team we are, when we go to the bigger teams, we'll always perform. So I think if we can find that this year, we will be a threat because you can see in our strike force, everyone across the front are unbelievable.
Yeah.
Like
Absolutely.
Mason,
Yeah.
Dom, Rax, they've all started to click and scoring goals for fun. Billy, what's his name? Collis is Teddy's been unbelievable I think when I've seen him. He's just like a ball of energy. He reminds me of Connor
Yeah,
Cullen when he first
yeah,
came in a couple of years ago.
yeah.
Just doesn't stop running, and he's got a bit about him as well. So
He's got a good pedigree. Yes, albeit at a lower level in Eden Market. He scored a lot of goals down there, didn't he? And
yeah, he
I
did. He
think,
scored loads of goals.
yeah, I think Spencer's taken maybe a little bit of a gamble on him, but he looks good. But like you say with the consistency thing, it kind of like that does dovetail with having lots of young players in a team. You do get inconsistency, and that's just part and parcel of it with younger players because they don't tend to perform consistently well for weeks on end, whereas the
And
older player tends to because they know kind of level they've got to get to.
And I think they look
Also-
at you. They
Mm,
look at you towards it. And I think when you haven't got all the older boys in there, like the core of our team are older. So you go Jack and then Robbo, and then you've got me and Billy, and then you've got the boys up top, Mason, Dom, and Rags. So the core of the team is there.
yeah.
But when you're missing a couple of them, the lads look to someone else. And I think it is, like you say.
Yeah, it is, and it's also the nature of the league as well. Like you say, I think you're spot on because it's like I said, I don't when I looked when we did a little preview of the league, we were looking at it thinking, yeah, do you know what? Probably a few teams that'll end up being down the bottom, but everyone could beat everybody, and the team that's going to be at the top at the end of the season is going to be the team that beats the teams around them in their position that end
Yeah.
up top of the league because that's just what happens. And you're not going to have in this season. I'll be really surprised. In fact, I'll be gobsmacked if there's a team that wins 6 or 7 games on the spin. I just don't think it'll happen because
No.
it's so competitive. There's no easy games. It's very tough. A really hard league. I mean, Spencer alluded to it as well when we spoke to him. He said it's
Yeah.
the toughest league's going. There's a lot of talk about the South this year being a really strong league.
Oh, it is.
No, yeah. There's no easy team. Even the teams that come up, you sometimes would expect them to struggle. But you teams like Tottenham have spent a few quid. Hornchurch, who obviously are in the league again this year, and they're top of the league, and that says a lot.
Horsham are another one.
Horsham, yeah, they've done
I
really
played
well.
against Horsham
Yeah.
and Dorking, and they battered Dorking
Yeah,
2 years in a row.
they got a bit of a thing over Dorking, haven't they? Horsham?
Yeah, they have.
Mark,
And they were
Mark
always
hates
good,
playing
though.
them. Yeah,
They're always good.
I mean, they've had really good FA Cup runs over the years as well. So
Yeah.
I think that does say a lot for a team. And I think really the only reason why they haven't got into the South before now is because their FA Cup runs have probably been detrimental to their league form.
Yeah, definitely.
And possibly a few postponements too many, and they've ended up having to play like 2 or 3 games a week for the last few months of the season. Eventually it takes its toll, doesn't it? But yeah, it's a real tough league. But like I say, in the midfield we have got I think Spencer's has got a core of players running through the middle of the team, like yourself and Billy and Rax and Dom and Mason up top and Rob over at Jack at the back that are and Lachlan Bird. I mean, he's only a young man, but he's got plenty of experience.
Yeah.
And I think that's a theme that Spencer's tried to get through in the summer. So it does bode well. Well, whilst results are not probably where we all would like them to be at the moment, but I think it will come around. Just give them a little bit of consistency, a little bit of time. But
Yeah.
I did make one prediction. Normally my predictions are shocking. I'm bloody awful. I did make one prediction. I did think our away form would be better this season, and it's so far it has.
Yeah, it has been.
that
It
way.
has been good, and I think you still got to give us a bit of time. I know it's hard. We expect us all to be there, but you look how new the team is. Like if you compared the team to last year, literally, I think again, if you looked at the weekend, there was Robbo, Jack, and Luch that were only there last year.
Yeah,
And you think-
exactly. Yeah,
You think Jesus, that is literally like a whole new team. So there will be times, and I think it will take a month and a bit just before everyone starts just slotting in, and all of a sudden a couple more training sessions like this next couple of weeks because it's a busy period the first month. Like you think about it, I think we played 5 games or 6 games in 2 weeks, I think, or something like that in the end. Or it was like 5 games in 2 weeks. It was like Saturday, Wednesday, Saturday, Monday, or something like that. And it was pretty fast. And all of a sudden you're thinking, Jesus, we've got 3 games in the next week and a bit. So that is a hard turnaround as it is. And you're not as a team, you're not bonded enough. Whereas you look at some of the teams like Hornchurch, their team's not much different to what it was last year. So what they've got over everyone already is that sort of connection and that morale. Where Chesham as well, when we played them, a lot of their players were pretty much the same players they had last year. They added a few, but again, that's a team that's already bonded, and that will get you naturally 10 points a season just through being connected as a team, and that will come with us because
I think
we've got a great changing room.
Exactly. I mean, it also comes on from last season because this is the same. This happened to us last year. We had a very similar call. We had 7-8 players that were the same from the previous season to the start of last season, and we obviously started the season off really well.
Unbelievable,
it does sort of balance out eventually, doesn't it? Because
all of a sudden everything starts clicking. And then all of a sudden, we might be that team, like you said, that go on that 7-game run, which will be if we have a 7-game run, all of a sudden you're top of the league because no one else will have a 7-game run. And I think that's it. If you can get a run of like 5 games where you've got 5 wins, and then you try and pick up draws and wins around it, like all of a sudden you're up there because, like I said, the league's so hard. You've got AFC Tottenham have come up and they're flying already. And again, their team is probably because it's quite similar to what they had last year, same with Horsham. But I think, it's a very difficult league, and I don't think people realise how hard it is.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think you're dead right there. I mean, I think, like I said, I think we've all said the same thing. Really, it's a tight league, and people will beat each other, and the team comes out on top will be the team who wins the most games. It says obvious, isn't it? But that's my prediction. Done. Also, what I was going to ask you, right now you've got all lots of spare time. Have you picked up any new hobbies like stamp collecting or knitting or things like that?
No, not really. I literally can't tell you much. I've been playing fetch with Ralph, and I can throw the ball quite well now.
New career as a baseball pitcher, then,
yeah.
He's doing all the fetching though, yeah.
Yeah, he's throwing the ball and he's getting after it.
I'm pretty good at killing a bug with my crutch. Like I've been pretty deadly with that. I see one out the corner of my eye, just little stab with that gets it done. But no hobbies yet. I'm doing a little bit of studying, which is a bit mad. Didn't think I would at this age, but a bit of studying.
It's never too late to redo your GCSEs, Aaron. So, I mean,
but yeah, I think I only failed Spanish at GCSE actually. But I could do that again. Learn a bit of Spanish. That'd be nice.
Yeah, take up a foreign language. It'd be quite helpful for that holiday you're planning. I'll tell you what. Yeah,
definitely. Actually, the worst thing that did happen, I watched a documentary with Chris Hemsworth. It's called Limitless, and the second episode.
I've seen a couple of these episodes. Yeah.
The second episode was about pain. So I'm watching this episode about pain, saying how like it's a feeling and you should embrace it, and then all of a sudden it won't be as bad. So I'm sitting here. I think it was like day 3 post-op, and sitting at home with Ellie, and she's saying, "You're right." I'm like, yeah. I'm sitting there with a frown on my face, like focusing. She's like, "What's up with you?" And I'm like, "I'm in a bit of pain, but like I've watched that documentary, and it's just a feeling. It's just a feeling. Like, I'm just embracing it. I'm trying to embrace the pain." She was like, "Shut up, you idiot! Just take some drugs." The next thing you know, she's lined up my drugs, and I'm like, "No, I can do this. I can do this." And then she's like, "No, just take them."
Have you got her cooking and cleaning up after you and stuff like that as well? She's always done that.
I feel terrible.
She's always done that.
She was like, "If you get a bell, I'll slap you." But no, I haven't got that yet.
That would be the first thing I get. The first thing I get would be a bell, a little zingling bell.
No, she's honestly been amazing, and she's been driving me obviously all over the place. Doctors, videos. She did enjoy the first bit, which was the first doctor's meeting. They were taking off all the plasters and stuff and cutting out all the stitches, and she was buzzing off that. She'll hate me to say this, but she was like, "It smells like." I quite like the smell, but it was like one of those smells that you don't like, but you want to smell it because you're quite interested. But it was a bit cheesy off all my plasters coming off, and she's like, but
she compared it to one of your famous dishes, did she, that you cooked? It smells a bit like that. Oh, it smells like that lasagna.
She's like that terrible dish you cooked I threw in the bin a couple of weeks ago. Yeah, that's exactly it.
Oh no.
Oh god.
Yeah, you sound like you're going to win her there, Aaron, with her. So don't.
Oh, honestly, so lucky. She's been fantastic. My family as well, to be fair, and all my friends, and like I say, all you guys, everyone in the football community. I did bump into your sister the other week at the game, and she's very grateful. They wanted to say something on the radio, but she was a bit too shy. So no, I'm not doing that. So yeah, happy days.
When is the wedding then?
June next year. I did think I might be in a boot or something for it, but luckily I'll be all right. I'll be able to hopefully walk.
You'll be walking by then.
Yeah.
A whole new meaning to suited and booted. That would, wouldn't it?
Yeah, imagine that. Honestly, if it was like 3 months later, like say it was December, she'd be hating me. I'd be just be able to walk.
Carrying you down the aisle, rolling the way around.
I'm in a wheelchair, rolling myself down.
It was so nice of you to marry that disabled guy. Yeah, it's really nice of you. That's so nice. What's he done? No, he's just broke his leg. Not really.
No, Aaron, we're gonna call it there. Look, don't go away. Obviously, we'll have a little chat when we come off air. But thanks for coming on. It's been great chatting to you and finding out all about what what's going to happen, what's going to go on in the future with all the wonderful money that everybody has donated for you. But before we go, is there anything you want to quickly say to everyone that's helped you and donated and is currently helping you? Yeah,
No.
what was
All I
yours?
could say is obviously thank you to you guys and literally everyone that is donated. And messaged me and like got in touch. Literally, I am speechless. I'm like I'll get a bit emotional if I talk too much about it, but yeah, I'm honestly touched and I don't know what to say half the time. I'm just this is going to support me without you all really knowing how much it will. It will make me get back quicker. It will support me mentally, financially. Obviously, it's going to help me, but it's more the fact that I'm just so grateful for everyone just to reach out and just message and say, "Are you all right?" And like I say, I don't know what to say because I've said thank you and I want to say more. I want to do more, but there's not really much else I can do. I'm just super grateful and I'm very touched and I didn't expect anything. And this is more than anything I would ever expect. So thank you so much to everyone that's done anything towards my rehab or just messaging, supporting me. So yeah, thank you very
I,
much.
I think I think what you can do for everybody is to make a full recovery and come back and put on the famous yellow jersey of Farnborough Football Club
No,
once
yeah,
again.
definitely.
Yeah, that's what like I agree to what Alan said. It's you just get back playing as quick as you can. That's the only thing you can do as a footballer, really. And that's what all anyone would expect. And
Yeah,
personally, I like to thank the football community for helping out in this
absolutely.
with Aaron's injury. It's been a wonderful thing, and sometimes a dark world that we live in. Sometimes there's rays
Yeah,
of hope here, and it's people show kindness in all different ways. And this is one of those ways of doing it. But yeah, it's really great. So we'd like to say on behalf of the podcast, thank you to everybody that donated,
no,
um,
seriously.
and also thank you to Mike and the club for actually setting it up in the first place. Great idea,
Yeah.
brilliant. I'm looking forward to the one that they're going to set up for the burgers that got nicked the other night. That'll be interesting. We can get 13 grand for that. That'd be quite helpful.
One for the minibus.
Like I said,
Yeah,
I actually thought when they set the GoFundMe page up, I thought you'd be lucky to get a grand there, and then yeah,
Honestly, like I can only compare it to a guy I played football with at Slough, Ryan Bird. He obviously played at Wembley, scored at Wembley, and he snapped his patella tendon. And when I was at Slough, they set one up for him, and like his is like he's a Sparky, so he was literally out of a job, like fully both ends,
yeah,
football
yeah.
and that, and no income coming there. And I think he made about 5 grand. But honestly, I'm blown away. And like I say, it's amazing what the football community did for him, and it's amazing what they've done for me. So like I say, I'm so grateful. Me and my family are. So
Perfect.
thank you very much.
Perfect.
yeah, well said.
Right, like I said, don't go anywhere. This episode was sponsored by Chartec Consulting, taking your business visions and turning them into innovative reality. For more information, visit chartecconsulting.co.uk. Simon, say good night.
Yeah, good night, guys. Thanks, Aaron, for coming on. Great to see you at the game on Saturday. Hopefully, if you're there,
Yeah,
and see everybody else there as well. As I said, also don't be afraid to approach Aaron if you see him sitting there. He's quite happy to chat. In fact, I think he'd like a chat actually because I think Paul is at the minute probably doing him in. But yeah, thanks very much for listening. Don't forget to subscribe and like. See you next time.
Yeah. Thanks a lot, everyone. See you soon.